Okay, let's see who's paying attention today. "45 seconds in. Nobody here yet. I know it's a Saturday and you guys are probably all doing something fun, but I'm not. So I'm gonna do a live, little bit of a Q&A here, as you guys can see. The thumbnail and the title is kind of a joke, but I'm legitimately super gluing some frogs together. Just checking to see how everybody's doing, and then if anybody has any questions for me today, I figured I'd jump on here for a little while and see if anybody's got any updated questions, want to know what's going on, any questions on any of the videos you guys have seen, or just any, I guess, any generalized questions for me, because I'm never on here doing lives, and I probably should more often. Do me a favor, comment if you want me to do these more often. The biggest thing with lives is I just don't have time to do them. As you guys can see, I'm sitting in the fish cave, and when I do get a chance to, so like I was saying, like the title describes, I'm taking super glue currently and super gluing these cuts back shut on these very expensive frogs. Currently working on 4 of them. So I don't know, what is that, $40 in frogs or something? These things are stupid expensive. Who thinks frogs should be cheaper? I mean, seriously, like, I love the technology in them and I love everything about them, but like one northern pike, one good big northern pike, and these things are trashed. Yeah, so that's why I'm super gluing these back together right now. But like I said, this is a bit, basically this is a Q&A. I have paper here, pen, and it's for you guys to ask me questions, not me to ramble for hours on end. I'm just trying to get a beat on how my subscribers are doing, and if anybody's got any major questions they want to ask me about the channel, about videos, about fishing in general, about adventures, about future adventures, about past adventures, like you name it, you can just ask down below, and we will go from there and see how things are, you know, looking and stuff like that. But yeah, so I figured I'd do this today because, like I said, I'm sitting down actually in here for this purpose of just getting some stuff done. I have baits I have to put together. I have stuff to go through here, but like I said, I'm gonna make a little bit of time here. I just did a live on my shorts channel for those guys, and I was like, well, I'll do a live for you guys because I never do lives. I should do lives more often, but like I said, it's one of those things. If I have more time in the future, I'll probably do more lives and stuff like that. Especially if I get a chance to get out and fish with other people. It gives me a little bit of time to like sit back and do a live and whatnot. But yeah, the main goal of this one is really for the sole purpose of you guys asking questions, or, you know, coming up with any ideas that you guys want to talk to me about and the channel. I'm just trying to be more inclusive, I guess is the way to put it. Yeah, just include you guys more. Includes that, you know, if you're subscribed, hopefully you guys stop by, say stuff every once in a while. But yeah, the big thing here is just get some questions answered and maybe talk about future videos and future video ideas, or I don't know. It's like, this is up to you guys. This is your live stream technically to ask me questions and yeah, get things rolling here. I'll probably save this so that you guys can just comment below it later on if you missed the live stream, but I'll hang out here for a little while. Like I said, I was just I could just sit here and keep super gluing these, and then yeah, I'll just check and see if you guys have any questions written for me. like I said, comment below if you think frogs should be cheaper, because they get tore up so easily. This one's about retired. I mean, look at that thing. It's destroyed. But I mean, it caught a ton of fish, so I'm happy with that. Who's all here right now? I see there's at least 3 of you guys. Just comment below who's stopping by. I'd like to know who my active subscribers are. That would be kind of nice to know. Big thing here is like, yeah, like I said, this is your stream. This is for you guys to ask me questions. The Q&A answers will probably just be below your comments. I can do it live right now if you ask a question that I can like think about and answer right away. The biggest thing is going to be like what kind of questions they are, whether I should do a video and like answer them. If you guys come up with a bunch of them, like I have a paper with 10, like you can ask me 10 questions and I'm going to try and answer them all live. That was the goal for here. But if I have to like really think about it and like it deserves a solid answer by itself, I think I'm going to do it that way, where I'll just answer the question and go into a little bit better detail. I know people ask me questions so randomly all the time, and it's so hard to like give a complete answer to something. Like somebody will ask me like, hey, where do you find this fish at this time of year? Like, what do you do to do that? And it's like, well, there's a lot that goes into that. So that's like a whole video on itself of like, I could go into extreme detail and tell you exactly how to find that fish, exactly what to use, exactly like all of those things. But I need a specific question to answer, if that makes sense to you guys. But yeah, I don't want to just, as much as I like talking, I don't want to just sit here and talk to myself for an hour trying to figure this out. But yeah, if you're new here, like I said, hopefully you guys subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thanks. I appreciate all of you guys. We're getting closer to 20,000. I could go into detail about that a little bit, I guess. One of the things that I know a lot of my new, because a lot of you are new, the big thing with the new people is you probably don't even realize that I do big giveaways. I have huge things to do with this channel in the future. I'm going to try and pass everybody up. All of you people that watch that are from other channels, I'm coming for you. And yeah, the idea here is to do some really fun special things with this. I just saw a question. What is your go-to walleye baits for summertime? Like, are you trying to get like an overall, like multiple baits? So I'm trying to think of how I can see. That's what I mean. With summer walleye, they like 9 times out of 10, doesn't matter what body of water you're in, they're going to be on their deepest stages as the water is its warmest, right? So when a walleye goes deep, there's only like, I really only like 2 or 3 styles of bait. There's a lot of them you can use. But the funny part is like deeper water, it breeds better to do like a jig and a half of a night crawler. Like if you're going somewhere new and you really just want to catch some walleye and you know for a fact the lake has a good number of them in it, because that's the detail that I'm trying to talk about here. If it has a lot of walleye in it, just get yourself an appropriate size jig head, half a crawler. I wish I had one sitting around right now. I mean, but like, for instance, like this is all chewed up, but this is a 1/16 ounce jig head with a good gap on it. If you just have like half a crawler and you just tap bottom and work your way down break lines to like where the thermocline is and work your way back up, if there's walleye in there, you're probably going to catch one. You'll catch other fish too. That's a pain in the butt, but you'll catch other fish too. But really, that's like the easiest thing. You can use minnows, big baits, catch big fish, and especially in the summer because their metabolism's up. So like you can just use suckers, you can use chubs, big shiners, stuff like that. Extra. Like in the summer, I get the biggest fat heads that I can find. And then you can use, obviously you can use artificials. So anything that looks like a leech, I mean, you can use leeches too for live bait, but anything that looks like a leech, moves like a leech. There's so much in detail that goes into like finding walleye and then like breaking them down, but really just keep it stupid simple if you're trying to get on some, and keep your bait structure in that like larger piece, but don't go too big because you just get what are they called? Like you just get tail biters. Dropped a jig here, but yeah, so like that's a good question. Like just simple go-to baits for walleye. So one of the things that I don't do, you guys will almost never see me do this because it's just, I mean, I might do it once in a while, but the big thing is like trolling for walleye in the summer. So many people do that. That's such an easy thing to do. Figure out the depth they're hanging out. A lot of times if they're hanging out on, say they're hanging out at 15 to 18 feet on a break line, what most people don't understand is that a lot of times is a thermocline across the lake. So like from shore to shore, and then below that is dead water or like low oxygen water. So they'll literally hang out on that thermocline all summer long. You can literally just zigzag back across the lake with your bait set at that depth and you'll catch walleye. I call that grocery shopping. I'm not a troller. I don't like trolling because that's basically what that is. I like pitching jigs, feeling the bite, pitching baits that do the same thing. You can do rip and wrap baits, stuff like that. But I don't know. Hopefully that answered your question. Was that D&D Outdoors? Like that's they're simple and complicated if you make it. So that's walleye fishing in the summer 101 is like, don't overthink it. Another thing is I don't even bother fishing for walleye in the summer because a lot of times they're so deep that if you catch a small one, it's gonna die. Like the barotrauma problem with walleye at depth is if it happens to be in and around that thermocline, sometimes the thermocline in body water is 30 feet because it's 60 feet deep. Well, 30 feet deep, a lot of those fish just can't they don't release well. So 9 times out of 10, you won't see me fish for walleye once the water temps hit like 78 or above because they're so deep. But yeah, that's the type of question that I was talking about. Like, I can make a whole video based on summertime walleye. I mean, you can comment below if anybody else sees this and wants to know more about summertime walleye. Just let me know what you guys think and like what you want to know about them, and I have the answer for it. So if you're new here and you're not from like Wisconsin or the upper Midwest, that's what I'm talking about as far as fish species. I pretty much know I can kind of name every type of scenario for every type of fish that swims in the state of Wisconsin. Ironically enough, the hardest ones to catch for me are carp and like specific sucker species, and then the minnow species. I've been trying to break down those types of species as I go here because I like the challenge of figuring out exactly why something does it or does the thing that they do. So that's what I'm trying to help you guys do is like, if you ask me the right question, I can search my memory banks and break down all of the little things that actually, you know, make the difference of whether you're going to catch some of those fish or not. No boat. No boat is that's a river thing, 100%. Because it's very hard. Sometimes they'll still come shallow, but a lot of times in the summer the weeds are gonna push you out. But don't count out if you can find yourself. This is the thing about shore fishing. You have to understand substrate. So the bottom content is gonna matter. If you can find an area that has very sparse weeds and rocky shorelines, they'll still come up into those even in the middle of like August or whatever. They're not going to be as many, but you can get to them. The biggest thing is going to be, you're looking at your shoreline and seeing, you know, how far rock and sand goes out, and if it's not weedy. If it's very sparse, there are weed walleye. That's a style of fish. Most people don't know this, but there will be walleye that stay in the weeds all year, and then there's the ones that transient, and then there's the ones that just stay out over open water. So there's three types of walleye. And once you figure that out, you start understanding how to fish areas a little bit better. But yeah, if you're trying to fish from shore, my two favorite things to do is find really walleye-ish shorelines, or go to a river, because you can always get walleye in holes, behind riffles in rivers. So like a break in a river, you'll literally catch a 5-pound smallmouth and a 5-pound walleye side by side in a river. And it's really cool because you can still fish like jerk baits. You can just run crankbaits, bouncing them off the bottom. Like the thing I was telling you before, a jig and a half of crawler. If you cast by a walleye, it's gonna eat it. That's why like river fishing for me is one of the like more, I feel really at home on rivers, because that's kind of what I grew up doing. And the thing with that is there's like three scenarios. You have holes, so like where a back eddy is and there's a drop off. That hole can hold every species of fish. And it's funny because like you can use like 3 baits and catch every species of fish in there. And if there's walleye around, you'll catch them. But yeah, if you're trying to specifically target walleyes, big minnow baits, just a minnow on like a Lindy rig or like a Carolina rig style thing. You can do them on a 3-way, or even just like half a night crawler on a 3-way rig. There are so many different versions of what you can do. I might have to, you're making me think I have to do like a whole like summer walleye shoreline video. And the thing is so like, just so you understand, when I fish rivers, I never limit myself to where I walk down to the edge of the water. I walk right into 90% of the rivers I fish. I don't care where I'm fishing. I walk right into them and I start walking up or down them. And that's because your likelihood of catching fish is going to go up way, way, way higher if you can figure out what you're fishing. And like a break line in a river can be like this much. So like there's like 4 inches of water here and there's like 12, 15 inches of water here. Those walleye might be sitting right behind that break. So that's the coolest thing about river fishing. And honestly, like a lot of people overlook how simple it is to fish a river, because they just don't understand them. And I get it. It can be overcomplicated or whatever. But yeah, if you're not fishing from a boat, I would honestly just stick with, find yourself some dams to try first. If you can't get anything at a dam and they're not like piled up underneath there, then you got to work your way down rivers. And then if you're trying to fish from lakes, you have to know it's going to be sandy and less weedy, and or rocky and less weedy, sparse weedy, or even in weeds, but like it's going to be at night. So like keep that in mind. Like if you're going to fish walleye in a lake, don't even worry about fishing like all day. Just fish from like 6 o'clock till midnight, and that's like a good time to fish for walleye, because then you're going to find them in the shallows, like, you know, you're talking shoreline out to a break line, and that's your highest probability is going to be then. So hopefully that answers your question as far as like where you can go without having a boat. But like I said, those are good questions, and that's what I wanted to do the live for, was to try to get like, just try to help you guys figure out what I do instinctively. And I do this all the time. I have a hard time. It's so annoying because I have a hard time remembering while I'm filming for you guys to make like a breakdown. I've been trying my hardest, I'm telling you. But it's one of those things. I get focused, and once I get focused, it's so hard to just be like, yep, I'm currently fishing 22 feet of water with a jig head with a 3-inch gulp. And the reason I'm using a chartreuse head is because it's got, you know, this stain to the water. Like, that's a really hard thing to like cascade through without just doing a video on it itself. And then obviously, as you ask the questions, it makes it so much easier for my brain to find the exact answer and give it to you guys. So yeah, okay. So I'm glad I could help you with that one. It's one of those things that just don't overthink it. Don't second guess your abilities. I'm sure you know walleye like, a half a crawler on a jig head. You use it everywhere else. Like maybe you're river fishing in the spring or something, that's something that you are comfortable with. Don't overlook just doing that same thing that you're comfortable with everywhere you go. Because eventually you'll master that thing and you'll be able to move on to something else that does something either similar or you find out that they like it. What is that? Am I gonna say Jobu? What's up, dude? If you missed anything, I'm gonna upload this whole live and make sure that you guys get a chance to go back and look at it. I just went over all the walleye stuff for summer walleye fishing, basically with or without a boat. Basically, I think I covered everything for all of your basic entry needs as far as those are concerned. Hopefully that, like I said, hopefully that makes a bunch. Sean from oh right. No, I commented on your stream. I remember you. Hopefully you're not cooking down there because we've been cooking here. It hit 95 the other day with a 115 heat index, which I don't do anything in that weather anymore. I hibernate. That's what I do. Yeah, but it's a dry heat. But yeah, hopefully we can get some more questions to come through and I can kind of walk through a few more with you guys before I don't want, like, I'm not going to drag the stream on for hours and hours and hours. I might do an hour today. It's freaking hot out today. I can't do anything and it's a weekend and yeah, basically just trying to help people while I can. Dude, 20 fish, that's fun. What kind of size are you getting on Bartlett? That's what I'd be curious about now. I've always wanted to fish there. I wanted to flathead fish it so bad for the longest time. And then doesn't Bartlett have stripers too? One to 2 pounds. Does Pleasant have what has stripers other than Havasu? I thought one of those lakes around that area had stripers also. And I'm not mistaken, or if I'm not mistaken, I thought Bartlett had bigger bass, but I am not. Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, well, state records relevant, I guess. Relative would be the word. But yeah, that's a place that I've heard of fun times being had. I'd be curious to see what is your opinion? Do you think that okay? Yeah. Oh, Pleasant. Yeah. Pleasant has the okay. I thought I've seen them there. I never fished for them. I always wanted to, but I never fished for them. But yeah, the canyons and stuff like that around there would be so fun to actually like pound on some in Pleasant. I have a video actually where I went to when I was visiting Havasu the one year. I went out with a guide out there, which I'll never go out with again. But that guy took us out and we just trolled for stripers on the main channel on Havasu. And we got a couple of them. I'd never caught them before. Yeah, 10-pounders would be fun. See, and I want to cast for those. I really want to get out there casting for those. That would be a blast. But yeah, the cats in Bartlett, and then so where do you think the biggest largemouth live? Would you say Havasu? So now I'm really curious because it says there's four of you. I got 2 of you asking me questions or talking to me. Who are the other 2? Mysterious lurkers. Like I said, this whole thing is going to be based on I'm trying to like help as many people with questions that they might have that I can answer right now in this video or in comments below. I have kayak fished, and I was looking for one for the longest time, and then I had some financial problems go up. I was going to do a video and try and like explain what was happening this year. I still don't know if I want to talk to everybody about all of the problems because everybody's going to just say I get to fish for a living and that doesn't matter. But yeah, basically I haven't been able to do much. I wanted to pick up a nice kayak for the longest time, but the idea of paying the same amount for a kayak as I did for my boat, and they do the exact same thing, except my boat gets to go 22 miles an hour. I don't know if I would pick up a kayak just for that purpose. I do really want a kayak so that I can actually cover more river fishing spots really bad. Like it sucks because I have flathead spots where I know I can get a 60. I know it. I know I can go get 60s. But the only way I'm going to get to these little backwater areas is I have to have a jet boat, an outdrive, or a kayak. And all of that costs way too much money right now. If I was suddenly able to get one of those 3 things, I would 100% start fishing for those. Really? 10 plus? Roosevelt's the one downtown, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember which one that is. Is that, yeah, that's the man-made lake, right? Making me want to go back down there and freaking fish, but the only time I'd want to fish down there is like September, like the end of September through like probably April. I would not want to go any other time. I'm not big on fishing all night long, and I'm not big on trying to get up at 2 a.m. to fish till 9 a.m. Back on the subject of the kayak thing, yeah. So if I ever get sponsored by a kayak, that's probably going to be the only time I actually get one in order to get out, because they're just so expensive nowadays. Everybody bought one for the last like 5 years here, and that's just skyrocketed the prices of them. Like now they're like the most valuable commodity on the water, and it's like paying like $1,600 for a functional kayak it's ridiculous. Unless I get some crazy good deal that pops up and I have an extra little bit of money to buy one, then I probably would get one. Because yeah, there's some flathead fishing that I've been wanting to do. Oh, and so I've wanted to do. Oh, I've looked on Facebook Marketplace, dude. Like it's so nuts because the kayaks that are affordable are junk. The ones that I need, like the size, the functions that I need it to do, all the stuff to it, are like the exact same price as my boat. I'm not even joking. My tin boat with a 25 horsepower and a Tarova on it cost the exact same amount with my deals that I built my boat with as a used kayak does right now. It's so ridiculous. I am getting to the point though where I might go buy like I might go buy one of those like Walmart kayaks and try and like outfit it so that I can at least go like float up and down some rivers. The big thing here is I want to be able to bring well, flathead fishing. I would like to bring my I don't have it in my room right here. My little angle to keep your bait warm, keep your bait alive. My angle cooler, my bait cooler. I want to be able to bring that, and you need a good stable platform with the little flat platform in back, so you can like strap that down so it doesn't fall out of your kayak anytime you get in and out of it. And I'd ideally like a pedal kayak so that I can actually like pedal upriver. Paddling upriver is okay, but it's hard. And I just don't have, I just never get the opportunity to time something where I can fish with somebody else where we both have our vehicles. So then that way, like one person can leave a vehicle at the drop off point that way, or at the get out point, so that, that we can actually like just float down a river. That's like the craziest thing is like, if I had people that I knew did that kind of thing all the time, and they were able to get out when I can get out and stuff like that, then I would probably just get something that I can just float down a river with. But I need something that's very functional. And yeah, it's like right on the edge of like, it could be cheap, but I'm just not trying to get in trouble going up a river and not having things work out for me in the end. But yeah, there's a couple species of fish that I want to spend some time targeting giants, and a kayak would probably make the most sense to have. I just need the exact kind of thing, and it kind of limits, just limits my capabilities of like what I can go buy. That, not having any money, that helps too. But all right, what do we got here? I'm guessing it's the same group of people, but hopefully, does anybody that's here right now have any other questions as far as like things that I'm trying to do, adventures you guys might want to see? I'm just trying to like figure out some of the rest of this year open water stuff that I want to do before ice fishing and fall comes. One of the things I'm probably going to do when it cools off again is I'm going to try and do some camping and fishing. I was going to do that this spring, but we got like, it went from cold, I was on open water, it was starting to warm up, and I love camping when it's like 50 to 60 degrees and, being able to get out and do my thing. But it went from like 40 degrees to like 88 degrees this spring. And like the overnight temp was like 75. And I don't know about you, but I cannot sleep if I'm like boiling. So that kind of got vetoed. And we got like monsoons. It was so stupid. It's funny because I was legitimately just thinking about a few places that I've been wanting to go to and fish summertime walleye. I don't know if you fish flowages, but I love fishing big flowages in the summer because it's funny because I tell people this all the time. A flowage is obviously a dammed up section of river, and it's flooded, but there's still current and there's still a river channel. So the fun thing is growing up fishing rivers, you can kind of fish a flowage like you're fishing a river, and the fish will be in the weirdest spots because of that, because they're treating it with the slight flow that it has. And yeah, I've been wanting to do that a little bit this year, but it's just currently I'm stuck not being able to travel and do that. One of the things I want to do really bad is go camp out next to, there's a couple rivers that I've been wanting to go to that actually have good walleye fishing basically year round in. I just have to take the time and go stay by them and fish them for a day or two and try and find some walleye while it's warm out. But the thing is, like I said, if it's going to be like 95 or whatever during the day, I'm not going to stay on a river. I'm just not going to do it because me and heat like that just do not get together. Like if it's only going to be 75, 80 for a high, then I'll probably go do that. But yeah, we got to get some of this like stupid, crazy heat out of the way before I'm really getting out and doing that. The likelihood is I'll probably go to one of the flowages or something like that and see if I can find some walleye, either shore fishing or just getting out in the boat on the flowage. But it's gonna be a while before I actually do that. I'm curious. So like everybody that stopped by today has probably been subscribed. I'm also just wondering if the algorithm kicks this out to you guys after the fact. So if you're seeing this, just as a heads up, comment below if you're seeing this after the fact. I would love to know if you guys actually get to see this and get to, you know, ask some of the questions, or maybe, you know, I answered one of your questions already. You can just comment below that, you know, you watched the stream and you were able to get one of your questions answered because of that. D&D's. So my favorite thing in summer for walleye, honestly, is one of two things. It's a whole red worm, or it's a whole leech on a jig head, or even a Lindy style rig, or slip bobber. So if you haven't seen my slip bobber video, so that's like a really good thing that I could mention. Go watch my slip bobber video. Just type in the search bar DWS Outdoors slip bobber. That video will tell you everything you need to know on how to use a slip bobber from shore if you want to do it that way, and basically the tactics that you can use for that if you just use like a jig head and a leech, or even just like a regular, like I use a walleye wide gap from Gamakatsu. That works 9 times out of 10. Because so something I've discovered about walleye is they really like something that's just always moving, and that's why leeches work. So if you nose hook a leech, they'll literally just keep trying to swim through the water column just like a minnow, except a minnow in a warmer water column will actually just burn itself out and die, versus like a leech, or if you use a whole like jumbo red worm, if you know what that is, on a jig head, the red worm will do the same thing. It'll twist and turn and all that stuff. And if there's a walleye around, generally they'll find it pretty quick. But I do a lot of casting, so I'm not gonna lie, I do a lot of casting in order to figure these guys out, if they're in like a hole, or if they're on top of the weeds, or if they're down in the weeds. That's the hardest thing, is like if you're fishing from shore, you really have to like bring your stuff in and understand like, okay, as I'm reeling it in, my bobber sat up, you know, 30 feet from shore and 20 feet from shore. So 25 feet from shore, there's a weed pile, like a bush. So like as your jig's going through, if it sits on top of the bush when you pull your bobber, and your bobber's not standing up and it lays down, you know, you come up onto something. And then if it stands back up 5 feet later, fishing this side of it or this side of it is probably going to be what yields you a fish. And then, like I said, you really have to understand the substrate. So like, that's why I like walking in the water so much. That's why you guys never see me wearing shoes. I will literally just walk around shallow areas a lot of times in the summer, because it feels good to be in the cooler water. But you'll find out, you're like, oh, this is sandy, or this is muddy, or this has got tons of rock. Well, that tons of rock transition to sand at 11 o'clock at night. Somewhere in that area is probably going to be a walleye roaming around at night. And there could be a ton of them. I mean, you could have 20, 30 of them in there trying to eat bluegills and other bait fish, because they come in there to eat the bait fish. But yeah, just a like a big redworm or a leech are probably going to be your two best things. The cheapest and easiest thing, though, is half of a night crawler. The only downside is everything will eat that. So like if you're trying to be specific, at night, bass still feed, bluegills sometimes will still feed, perch will sometimes still feed. You'll catch crappie that way. It'll be kind of random. But yeah, the jig and the piece of crawler is one of those search baits too. You know, you use a light enough one. Like I was saying, like I have a million of these. This is a 1/16 ounce jig head. So this little jig head is just one of those things that if something's wrong with me if I don't have a box full of jigs. Like, here, actually. I'm not going to open it while I'm holding it like this, but there you go. This is always full. when I start losing enough jigs out of a certain thing, I will just go buy another 2-3 packs and dump them in here. So like this is all 1/16th, this is all 1/16th, this is all 1/16th, this is all 1/16th. I think that's 1/32. That's quarter or eighth, like 1/16th. Those are quarter or something. Like I always have jig heads, always. Like don't, like I said, a lot of people will sit there and overcomplicate fishing, so much so that you're going over the easiest way to catch something. If you're trying to make it more difficult, then you go buy, you know, a box of spinners, or you go buy a box of crankbaits, or you go, you know, get some, you know, paddle tails. Like, I mean, like I have this. So this is an entire thing to make my own leaders for ice fishing and or open water. And I literally make my own like spinner sometimes, or just like extra flash, extra steel leader, like whatever. And you can make it that complicated if you want to, but you don't need to. Like you can just, like I said, you can just grab a jig, start casting around, hopping it off the bottom. The big thing with jigs that I will say, and it's going to be the dumbest thing in the world, you're going to, like, if you don't already do this, you're going to start doing it. Use the jig to figure out how the bottom is, like what it is, if that makes sense. Like just use the jig to basically figure out how far you can cast with it from that distance to shore. Now you'll know what the bottom is all the way to shore. You'll know if you're getting hung up on weeds. You know if you're getting stuck in rocks. You'll know if you're bouncing it off of sand or mud. Like, it's going to be one of those things that's your easiest way to kind of figure out everything from a shore fishing standpoint. I think that would help you probably the most. Yeah, like I was saying, it's just one of those people. It's weird because it's like we want to go out and catch fish and not overthink things, but that's what my brain does. Like the whole time I'm fishing, I'm overthinking. Like I can probably go catch one of those right now, but I will overthink it till the last minute, maybe catch one of them, and then I'll be frustrated because I sat there and overthought things for too long, and I should have just been like, well, why didn't I just throw a jig and a minnow, or a jig and a leech, and a jig and a crawler, and start hopping it around? Like, why didn't I do that? Well, because it's fun when they hit a big paddle tail, or it's fun when they hit. So like in the summer, you can. I found this. I got to put some new hooks on it and stuff like that. But I have a couple of these. In the summer, you can legitimately run this. This is a deep diver. You can run this if you can fish somewhere where there's a steep drop and you have like a break line that goes down 15, 20 feet. And that's like where the deepest spot in the river or lake is. And this will get clobbered by walleye every time. Every time it goes by a walleye, they eat it. But the thing is like, do you need to do that? Or could you have thrown a jig head out past the same area and hopped it up the break line and caught the same walleye? See what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those goofy things. Like, if you just slow down, think about, fish are smart, but they're not that smart. don't over privilege them with the thought of like, you put food in front of their face, they tend to eat it. So yeah, hopefully that helps you get out there, and you'll probably catch a bunch of fish if you just slow down and just, like I said, I like personally, if I'm just throwing a jig head across the bottom, whether I'm in a boat, on a river, or fishing from shore, a good big, like a big meaty one, and they're hard to find, redworms, hold up the best, because you can actually catch like a couple walleye on a single redworm. Sometimes leeches will hold up if they're tough, but sometimes they get kind of soft. Like they won't die right away, but they'll start getting soft, and fish will tear those off real easy. But leeches wiggle, and walleye like that. That's like one of the top things to get like a weed edge walleye or a weedy walleye to come out of the weeds, is to be pulling a jig and a weed, or a jig and a leech through the weeds. But it's up to you. Figure out how you like to fish and then get really good at that style. That's the best advice I think I can give anybody, is like, figure out what you like to do and then get really good at it. Is there anybody new here? What do you got? Any other prominent questions to help move through, get anybody to learn a little bit more? I mean, just any questions are fine. Like, and like I said, if you're seeing this stream after the fact, just basically just comment below and then let me know what you had for a question, and I'll either make a video for that question if it's one of those like long things. Like I've been talking about summer walleye for a while here, but it's like, if it's something that I got to break down like that and I can like write it out and actually kind of go through it in my head, I will make you guys a video based around that. But what did you say? Which ice fishing giveaway did you win? Trying to think of who won all of my ice fishing giveaways. Because was it Ricky? Right? It's funny because I remember his old name. Ricky won one. Who won the other two? Because I did like 3 or 4 of them before I ran out of stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the, I think that was the perch giveaway, right? You got all the perch stuff? Yeah. You got a lot of good things. Those bow spoons are, from what I understand, I don't think they make those anymore. So those are like, you got gold. Because I've been buying them because I don't work with them anymore. But I literally have been buying them anytime I see them anywhere from like an overstock, because those work so good. I was actually thinking about like trying to find somebody to make that mold so that I could make my own bow spoons, not to sell, but just so that I have them. Because like now, so just in case you guys don't know what he's talking about, so there's a spoon with these little flappers, the little tiny, it's got like a 1/16 ounce or 1/32 ounce spoon with those little flappers, and it works so good. Oh, dude, you got a 42 inch? Dude, that would have been wild. Wasn't that, I can't remember if I gave you one with 4-pound test or 6-pound. Either way, it's nuts. It's so fun catching giant fish on little rods. I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's such a fun, like, that's a fun battle. I think that's one of the addictions of ice fishing is like, so like one of my craziest fish I've ever caught ice fishing was a lake trout on 4-pound test while I was perch fishing. Basically on the same setup I gave you, Dylan. So, but yeah, I'm so glad you're out catching fish on that thing. It's so, like, I like that setup too. Ironically enough, I'm doing another giveaway at 20,000 subs, and this time I have a brand new tuned up customs bullwhip to give away. Or if I hit 20,000 for the summer, then I'm going to give away one of my open water rods. So that's like, it's funny that you brought that up, because I'm going to do the same thing with a much bigger giveaway, because it's not just that. I'm going to take people fishing, and I have a whole bunch of other stuff to do. But yeah, I'm glad, dude, I'm so happy you caught some giants on that thing. Hopefully you keep using it for years to come. That was a pretty good setup. I like that setup. Does anybody else have any questions here? I might just do the hour, just because I have a couple other things I have to get done today. Uh, but this is one of those days where I actually had time to sit down and talk with you guys and like try to make a difference as far as like teaching what I know while you're asking the specific question. Dude, a 6-inch hole is nuts. I won't ever drill a 6-inch hole ever again. And like, I get it, it's less work, but even when I was hand augering all of my holes, I switched from 6 to my 8-inch Strike Master because I lost a giant bluegill at the bottom of a 6-inch hole. Western New York, hour south of Buffalo. You guys have giant perch over there. I need to get over there. You just reminded me. Do you ice fish? Oh, what's up, Chris? Yeah, it was kind of a surprise, Chris. I'm just trying to get some stuff done while I have time today. I've been busy. A lot of things have happened, and I'm just trying to, make sure I'm supplying you guys with some good content. And I wanted to do something where I could ask my subscribers to ask questions for me to get basically to get an understanding of like anything that you want to ask questions like from videos I've done that I haven't already answered, and or you want more detail on or something like that, or just in general like you want to know about future ideas, adventures, any of that stuff. Lucky. It's too hot for me to go fishing, Chris. I'm you should know. If you have Instagram, you can just send it to me on Instagram, Dylan. It's DWS Dave 31 or Facebook. Way hot is an understatement. I am just not. Yeah, I just don't do it. Yeah, make sure you stay hydrated, bud. Yeah, if Erie freezes again, good, ever. I kick myself every time I didn't go when it was nice. And it was, one of those dumb things where I probably should have just took off of work because I was too busy working, and I'm just like, should have just called in sick and went over to Erie and fished. Because you guys, like, Erie has some amazing fishing. And after seeing what I seen for videos, I was a little upset that I didn't get over there and do that. One of the things I do want to do, though, Matthew commented he's from New York, is I really do want to try and get over to New York for some ice fishing, because the perch thing that you guys got going on, like the no limit on the perch, and they're giants, like, what the heck? And then some of the panfish you guys have is bonkers, and it's like it's not even a thing. Like, you guys don't even care. Yeah, I've actually gone steelhead fishing a lot in my life. I think I've only done it on video a couple of times. The big thing with steelhead fishing is it's literally the best when it's the coldest, and camera batteries, it's such a weird thing. So when I'm ice fishing, I can keep my camera batteries warm. I put them inside my coat and stuff like that. When it's cold and I'm like walking around in waders and stuff like that, for whatever reason, I cannot keep camera batteries like good for long enough. And a lot of people say just like run a booster pack or something on it. The problem is getting cameras wet also is a big thing during the steelhead times. It's just one of those things, like, I'm trying to figure out ways to getting more of that in there, because I love steelhead fishing. It's fun. That's such such a crazy thing that we have access to in the state of Wisconsin. I have access to like every kind of fishing there is in the country in one state. And I never really put that together in my head till now. But I just realized, like, yeah, we have giant browns, giant steelhead, giant kings, crazy giant, like, bows, all this stuff, like, everybody wishes they had around them. We have it. And it's one of those things, you know, you get kind of numb to the fact that you've been catching these kinds of fish most of your life. Yeah, does Lake Champlain freeze? Can you ice fish that, Chris or Matthew? I mean, I don't need 50 perch, but that's freaking awesome. I love perch. Like, personally, I will say it, for baked fish, perch and walleye, and then anytime I can, I will fry perch over walleye, basically because I like baked walleye more than that. But, like, perch are amazing. Yeah, but so Champlain's, like, really deep, isn't it? Yeah, no problem. That slip arbor video will literally teach you everything you need to know about shore fishing with a bobber like that. I promise you'll start catching more fish. And then if you just go at night, you'll start seeing it more and more, that you'll find the walleyes, and then you'll figure out how they kind of move. But yeah, good luck, and hopefully that helps. Does freeze. The one thing is like, so I know deep lakes have a hard time freezing. They usually freeze last. But yeah, there's a couple of lakes in New York. What are those? You guys call them like the Finger Lakes? I forget what they're called, what the names of them are. But there's like 4 or 5 of them, like side by side. They run north south. Those are the ones that I think I would be in. Okay, yeah. I think those would be the ones that I'd be interested in trying to like, probably panfish through the ice, because there's supposed to be giants of a couple different species in a couple of those lakes, and then giants in numbers. So it'd be worth it to drive over there. I've driven to Pennsylvania, so what is? I think that's like a 10-hour drive or something like that. I can't remember how far the drive is, but it might be worth it to come over there and stay for like a week in the wintertime if it's good, and do some fun, you know, seek and destroy fishing. Because I love the idea of getting like a pile of big perch would be fun, or even like there's a couple lakes that have giant pumpkin seeds in them. Those would be super fun. I love pumpkin seed fishing through the ice. They're so aggressive. Okay. Do you have to fish them all in the super deep water? Like, are you using like those pencil rigs and stuff like that? So you have to fish like 30 plus feet. So like everything's dead basically when it's coming up. I'm just trying to figure out if it'd be worth it to go over there. Um, I have so many places in this country that I really want to get out to and like really just do some like in-depth searching. I have West Coast stuff that I really need to get to because there's some crazy good pan fishing. Then you guys over in the East Coast have some insane pan fishing. And then the fun thing is I love ice fishing. It's like one of my favorite things to do, mainly because I hate the heat. So, but yeah, New York is definitely on my radar as far as like getting out there and ice fishing if it's a good ice season. So that would probably dictate a lot, as if it was a good ice season. Matthew, since you're over there, do you know if there is a, like, if I brought my snowmobile, do I have to have it registered with you guys in the state, or does it matter? Like, is it just like one of those things where as long as it's registered, I can use it? Because that's a big thing, is like, those are big lakes. So having some kind of mode of transportation would be a serious, like, yes or no for me traveling out there. Let's see what time it is. It's already 2:30, 2:40. Chautauqua. Yeah, Erie is one of the places that if I ever get a chance to, I'm probably going to drop everything and spend all my money to go there for the winter. Just because it's one of those like once in a lifetime things. I missed out on it was like the 2014 season, 13-14, when the whole lake froze. And there were guys like, what killed me was there were guys sending me photos of like buckets of like 10 to 15 pound walleye. I didn't even know that was like a thing. I didn't know you could go out and get a bucket of 10 pound walleye. Not saying that I would keep 10 pound walleye, but it would just be an amazing day to catch multiple 10 pluses. Like that's a thing that would drag me away from just about any kind of fishing. Is like I've caught big walleye before. Like that's an 8. I have a 13 pounder that I basically have to get a replica of. But like catching even 2 of those, let alone like 5 to 10 of them, yeah, I will drop everything and probably shoot over to Erie if we ever get like Erie ice again, where I feel use resin instead. Do you see what kind this is? So this is Ultra Gel Control. It's quick, easy, cheap, and I don't have to worry about like letting stuff set up. I'm not joking. So this one's covered in cuts and it's all sealed up. And that's the thing, is like, if it's all sealed up, it's gonna get eaten by a frickin' northern pike again. I know it is. In fact, just as a caveat, if you're here, you'll hear this first because I have an idea. I think I'm gonna go try and find some bowfin specifically with these, because then I don't care if they destroy them, because they mangle frogs. Like they just destroy frogs. But I've been wanting to catch some of, like, there's a couple places I know of that have like 5 to 8 pound bowfin, and that's a thing that I really want some action. I want a piece of that action, because they're like sharks in weeds, and they fight harder than anything of their size. Like they're just nuts. So that's something I'm gonna probably get into, is bowfin. And Kevin, that's why I'm super gluing it, because I can bring this with, throw it on there, throw it on the bottom of my boat. It'll seal up good enough to float, and then it'd be good to go. So they're just so expensive that I'm just trying to be like quick with the turnover with them. So you're saying they get them, the giant walleye and those buckets, stuff like that. That's over by like, what is that, Saginaw Bay, by the islands. Trying to remember though. I have so much information in my head. Yeah, like you're talking straight out from like the islands and stuff, right? That wouldn't be a bad run. That would only be 6 to 8 hours or something like that. I could do like a 2-3 day trip real quick if that was a thing, but I don't know how they move. I don't know how you target them. Such a vast open area. There's like no structure. It's just giant flats that are miles long. It's like, how do you even begin to find them? Or are you just doing the like when we fish Lake Winnebago in Wisconsin, you just drill a hole and then you move like 200-300 yards and then drill a hole, and you fish them for like 5 to 10 minutes max, and you just do that all day until you run into fish. So is that the same thing on Erie, except you move like a half mile? Like, I would be curious to get out there and like really learn how to fish Erie in the wintertime. That would be cool. But like I said, it would have to be one of those things where I'm not trying to float away. So I'm not trying to go over there with a snowmobile, rip out 2 miles, and then have the shore break away. So it's got to be locked up. Like I'm not playing the island boy game. We're not doing that. I watch guys do that on Green Bay out here all the time. Like it's like every year for like the last 5 years, people have floated away and had to be rescued with airboats. and they've been getting lucky, and like the people are letting them bring their ice shacks and everything onto the airboats, but like they're not going to let me throw my snowmobile on an airboat. That's not going to be a thing. And I'm not trying to water skip with my gear behind me. So that's a big thing. The lake has to lock up good, and then I will head out there. Hopefully somebody lets me know one of these times and I can actually get out there. 3 to 5 miles on sleds and quads. Yeah. Well, perch fishing, see, and that's the funny thing. With perch fishing, I'm used to that. Like, I'm used to, like, I've learned to set my equipment up so that you can literally drill, search, jig, you know, give it a couple minutes and then go. Because perch are pretty easy when you're looking for them. You're just trying to find them quick, and that's it's a lot of drilling, but it's a lot of just like be proactive as far as your movements are concerned. Like, don't get everything all out and ready. You just like take a couple minutes to try to find them. If you're not getting them, move. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, what are we at? 66-minute live stream. This is probably my longest live stream. And I don't know if anybody's going to watch this whole thing after the fact, but I'm hoping somebody does, because the idea behind this, like I said, is trying to get more people out, understanding. And if you guys have any other questions, just do me a favor, leave them below this video when it's uploaded, whenever that is, because it's going to take forever. And yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we went over enough stuff. I'm glad you stopped in, Matthew, because it just kind of sparked my brain. I was like, oh yeah, New York. I've been fighting with going to New York or going over to the Dakotas this next winter, because last year I was going to go to the Dakotas and I just didn't make the move because we had really good ice all over Wisconsin, and I was able to kind of bounce around without having to travel too far. And I don't make millions of dollars. Hopefully you guys understand that. I don't make almost any money because everything I do goes back into the channel. So hopefully you guys get like why sometimes I travel, because I was being smart and I saved all my pennies and I was able to get to like where somebody, you know, needed me to go. But I don't sell things, and I don't take, you know, Chinese sponsorships daily to like feed my habit. It's just I get what you guys give. You buy merch, you pick up some fishing gear, or you watch the videos. That's how I've been running this channel, and I'm hoping I can continue doing that, because honestly, I'd rather have the support from my subscribers than some random Chinese sponsor. So hopefully you guys understand that. Early guys get rescued every year. Yeah, Matthew, that's the big thing, is like I just don't want to float away on a ice floe ever. I don't need that to be part of my record. I've fallen through the ice plenty of times in my life. Don't need to do that anymore. Don't need to do anything dumb. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that never happens to me. But I get a chance to get out on some interesting bites this ice season. But any other information that is needed by you guys, I'm gonna probably hop off here in a second. But any other information you guys want, or any major questions or videos you guys want me to do while I'm kind of just catching up for my summer stuff, just comment below the video. And then, yeah, if you're new here, subscribe. And I'm glad all of you guys came through for the live, and I'm thankful you guys asked for some questions and I could help a few of you guys out. And yeah, I'll probably see you guys next time.